And then it's kind of be careful what you wish for, because all these overnight gurus started popping up on all these channels that had no idea what they're doing. And then Kelvin, when I see someone like Kelvin, it's just a breath of fresh air. He's so smart at what he talks about. And there's two parts to it. It's having the knowledge and the willingness to just be open to share it, to just give it out to people the way that he does.
Once you have those three, revenue, business credit, and consumer credit, you can pretty much do anything, that you want to do.
You've talked a couple times about business credit. One of your videos, I think, has 500,000 views on business credit. And you just rolled out, I think, your second version of that. And again, a lot of views. So, I mean, that's how good this content is. So when it comes to business credit building, the other side of the coin, what do you find? How much of an impact does building business credit have on a general entrepreneur client you're dealing with?
So from my experience, a lot of the business owners that I consult with, they come into entrepreneurship with bad credit. As you know, it goes hand in hand. If you start building business credit and you have bad credit, it at least gives you some options to start getting capital for your business, whether it be through a corporate card, the EIN only type of cards that allow you to have that working capital that you need. As you know, you can also get a car in your business name for business purposes without them even checking your credit in certain circumstances. So building business credit is vital and essential to getting the capital that your business needs. Then, of course, once you add the consumer credit to that piece, now the only thing stopping you is business revenue. But the best way to help your business get revenue is to utilize, let's say, business credit, whether it be for marketing or taking care of your business expenses. That way you can start generating more revenue. And once you have those three, revenue, business credit, and consumer credit, you can pretty much do anything, that you want to do in terms of growing your business.
One of the things when it comes to business credit that frustrates me is I think so many people see it as a way to get money when you don't have revenue, you're a startup, you have bad credit. And I think it's great. It's a great solution in those circumstances. But there's so many benefits of business credit that I don't think people recognize. What are some of your favorite benefits that business credit provides an entrepreneur that a lot of business owners just don't even think about or don't even realize is something that business credit can do for them?
The number one thing for me is flexibility. I call it capital freedom. Being able to, let's say you're an Airbnb host, you just added a new property to your portfolio, using business credit to just go and get, let's say you can furnish a whole property with a lot of these business credit cards will give you an introductory like 0% for 12 months or 6 months where you have no interest. So you're essentially being able to go in, furnish a whole property, and then once you get those first couple months of profit, pay the credit card back. You just started a whole business for free, using what we call OPM, other people's money. And then my personal favorite is lines of credit. Business lines of credit is probably one of the best and easiest ways to end up scaling your way up to six figures. Because as you know, Ty, you can get a business line of credit, and if you do well with it, you pay it back, maybe even early. They will raise that limit pretty substantially, so being able to have more capital when you go and get a personal credit card, like I was saying before, we're looking at single thousands, maybe 7, 8,000. If you have really good credit, maybe you get to 10, 15,000. But with business credit, those business credit cards, we're talking 30, 40, 50, 80, $100,000, once you really get rolling. So those are, I would say, my favorite things about business credit is just having that capital. And there's so many different ways that you can get funding that will have business credit be a big factor in how much of a risk or how low of a risk your business is to a lender.
Yeah, and it's powerful. And you speak so many truths because I mean, you do this. Like you're a real estate investor. Not only do you do this stuff, but you teach it as well. That being said, well, what steps do you advise your clients on building business credit? Like if I'm coming to you, I don't know anything about business credit. Where is a place that, from your perspective, is the best place to get started? And what are some of the steps? Like walk me through the process of building business credit.
Yeah, sure. So I always tell everybody to start with the 8 keys of having a legitimate and credible business. That's what I call it. So making sure you have the foundation in place. A lot of new business owners, they just get real excited and they jump in and they just start applying for things willy-nilly and racking up those unnecessary denials. And they come to me or to you, and they're like, I'm trying to figure out, why am I getting denied for this or that? And so they're skipping steps. You want to make sure you have, your EIN, your DUNS number. You want to make sure you have a website and an online presence. Make sure you have that physical, business address, whether it be a virtual office or whatever the case may be. Having a business phone, making sure you have all the necessary permits and licenses, and making sure all of your data matches across the board. So those small things is what you should start with. So step one, I always tell my clients, start with making sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted so you can avoid any unnecessary denials. And then after that, regardless of if you have great credit or not, people, don't sleep on these net 30s, because from a lending perspective, the banks and the lenders, they're going to be looking to see your payment history. And although, yes, if you have a 750 credit score on the personal side, you can go ahead and apply for a Chase Inc. business card or an American Express business card and get approved. But unless you're going to be using that business credit card on a weekly basis and paying it back, that's just one trade line. That's one trade reference or bank reference. So use these net 30s as stepping stones. That way, once you have, let's say, 3 to 5 net 30s reporting to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, Credit Safe, these major credit bureaus, you can actually have multiple trade references showing consistent monthly payment history. That way, not only will you have a good business credit score and rating, but when you do start getting revolving accounts and then you get a MCA or any type of business loan, the business credit profile shows diversity, and you can show that you manage multiple types of trade references. And that's going to really put you in the best spot. So step one, 8 keys of legitimate and credible business. Step two, start at the ground level, build that foundation, get some net 30s. After you've had those net 30s for a few months with consistent consecutive months of on-time payments, then you can move up to, your tier 2, tier 3, revolving accounts and, those co-branded gas cards and things like that. That way you have a solid foundation versus just thinking, oh, I got a business credit card, I'm good. And then you go apply for a loan and you still get denied because maybe you don't have enough revenue. That's a lot more complicated than that, but that gives you an idea.
Yeah, and it definitely is a little more complicated. And for those watching, go to greenscalecredit.com. If you go to greenscalecredit.com and scroll to the bottom of his website, you can link up with Kelvin on his social media channels. And he breaks the stuff down. He breaks it down in depth, how to do step one, how to do step 2, 3. He provides net 30s, the accounts that you should use to go through and be successful. He really does a phenomenal job. One of the best I've seen of breaking this down in an easy to consume way. It just drops a lot of bombs. So just take a moment right now and just follow him on his social channels to get a lot more in-depth information about how to do all of this. So Kelvin, success story, do you have one that sticks out? Maybe one, two, I don't know. If you have some on top of your head, you change lives, man. I see what you do, and I see the comments on your channel and just the people, the impact that you have. So do you have one that you stands out in the top of your head, whether it be consumer credit, business credit, or both, real estate, whatever it may be, that you're like, wow, this is why I do what I do. It's what puts me, smile ear to ear. It's what makes me happy to see that I change lives. Is there something like that that sticks out that you could share?
So there's a lot that I do under the GreenScale umbrella. As you know, I have the credit repair side, and then we have the mortgage side where I help people get approved for mortgages. But in terms of even with business credit, I had one of my clients, he was trying to get a commercial property that he came across that he wanted to purchase, well, not purchase, he wanted to lease, and he wasn't able to get in. Most of it was because of his consumer credit was jacked up. And so he needed me to help him clean his credit and then also guide him on the necessary steps. A lot of people don't know, one of the reasons why the Experian IntelliScore is so important is because whenever you try to go and get a commercial lease, they're going to check your Experian score and your Experian credit report. And if they see things that they don't like, you'll get denied. And so I cleaned up his personal credit, which impacted his FICO SPSS score. So those of you who may not know, your Experian personal credit score and your Experian business credit score, they look at those together, and that's what's called your FICO small business scoring service. And so by improving his personal credit, then also helping them build business credit at the same time, he was able to secure that commercial property, and now he has a successful business in that property that I helped him gain.
Kelvin, what is some of your best advice to entrepreneurs out here that are trying to grow their business? They're running into all these hurdles. They don't know where to turn. There's all kinds of bad advice out there. I mean, if you could just say, look, this is the best things you could do right now to be able to get credit, commercial credit, consumer credit fixed, or just be on their path to obtaining this capital freedom you talk about. What is some of the best advice as we get ready to wrap up that you think that you can give for them to take action right now to be on the right path?
I'm so glad you asked this question because I didn't want to forget to say this. And this is, I feel, the most important thing that I can possibly say. Business credit is amazing. It's a tool. Credit, credit in general, consumer credit, it's a tool. It's a financial vehicle that can help you get to the destination. But I don't want you to just completely ignore the fact and the reality. And I'll be the first to tell you, you got to make money in your business. If we're talking about business here, all right, it's not enough to just rack up business credit cards and build business credit. I need you to already come in with a game plan. Number one, matter of fact, let me take a step back. In terms of building business credit, you absolutely need a strategy. You have to know what's your end goal. Are you, like, based on your business and your industry, is it that you need to finance a truck if you're in the logistics industry? And if that's the case, then you should be trying to really develop a business credit profile to where your end goal is to get six-figure loans so you can, expand your fleet. If marketing is all you really need, money to get marketing, then revolving lines of credit cards, business credit cards should be your end goal so that you can start racking up those reward while you start using those business credit cards for your Meta or Google or YouTube ad spend or whatever. But in terms of being a business owner, I just want you guys to know that no matter what, when it comes to business funding, like getting an actual business loan, you need business revenue. I think the number one reason that most businesses get turned down, and I've seen it firsthand, is not because of credit scores or even because of business credit. It's because of low sales. So yes, you can use business credit to help you scale your business and to make money. You should do everything that you possibly can to make sure that you can have a successful business that doesn't depend on credit, and really focus on doing everything that you can to have a successful business. And those are the intangibles. Let's not sleep on, having good customer service. How does your customer feel when they leave your shop? If you're a beautician, how does the customer feel when you provide that product or service? We have to really make sure that we do our best to give the best product and the best service, and then the money will follow. And then, of course, once you're ready to scale, you can use business credit and things like that. But I just think too many people focus on getting business credit almost as a way of, like we were talking about with consumer credit, it's just more money to spend. So business credit is for business purposes. So make sure you have a legitimate business, focus 100% on having a successful business, and then use business credit as a tool to just grow and expand.
All right, so listen, if you're watching this, I can tell you that I've been talking about business credit for a long time. And when I first got started, I just wanted as many entrepreneurs as possible know it's like 90% of entrepreneurs just don't know anything about business credit. And then it's kind of be careful what you wish for, because all these overnight gurus started popping up on all these channels that had no idea what they're doing. And then Kelvin, when I see someone like Kelvin, it's just a breath of fresh air. He's so smart at what he talks about. And there's two parts to it. It's having the knowledge and the willingness to just be open to share it, to just give it out to people the way that he does, to genuinely be there to help, to provide value in people's lives. And it's really hard to find a combination of those two things. Somebody that has the knowledge he has. He's an expert in mortgages. He's an expert in real estate investing. He's an expert at business credit. He's an expert at consumer credit. He's an expert at coaching entrepreneurs and people to get to their goal. You don't find that in very many people. But not only does he have that knowledge, but this willingness and openness to share, to genuinely dedicate his life to a life of service to help others. You just don't find it. You know as well as I do, it's rare to find that. And you have that with Kelvin. So this is what I want you to do is make sure you go to greenscalecredit.com. Because remember, none of this means anything if you don't take action. You could dive into his training on business credit. Any of the things he talks about, you'll see the level of how in-depth he goes and the openness he has to share really quality, actionable information. You're busy. So you want to be able to find somebody that teaches you stuff you can immediately take action on and get results. You'll find that on the social channels. But you'll also find on GreenScaleCredit.com, there's just a lot of other stuff. You could talk about business loans. You can find out about credit repair. You can find out about business credit there. You can become an affiliate of Kelvin's. You can even learn more about GreenScale Academy, which is where he really dives in. Like if you think the stuff that he does for free out there is a value, you haven't even looked at GreenScale Academy, like what he does on the other side of it and the in-depth value he provides there is something you'll rarely, if ever, see. So make sure you check out GreenScaleCredit.com. Follow him on the social channels. Make sure you check out GreenScale Academy while you're there. And all your questions about real estate, about mortgages, consumer credit, commercial credit, it's all in one place. So make sure you check it out right now at GreenScaleCredit.com.